17.25, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. So here we talked about tad iti anabhi sandhaya. No, ana means anna means no.
So abhi sandhaya, Mataji.
Peace.
Sandhaya is
Abhi
added with abhi, and then abhi is added with ana. An abhi sandhaya. Three basically
no
words are there. Two prefixes are there. Yeah. So abhi sandhaya refers to attachment. An abhi sandhaya, no attachment.
That's true. And then talks about phalam, no desire of enjoying fruits.
Yeah.
It talks about sacrifices, yagna, and then penances, the tapa, activities, kriya, and dan of charity. So it basically tells about that a person who wants liberation from this material world uses this word tat, like, and this it comprises of all these things. It for liberation from the like यहाँ के कर्म बंधन से छुटकारा पाने के लिए जो चाहते हैं वो इसका तत् वो करते हैं. That's what I used to grow.
Anyone remembers that Brahma Sutra which we discussed last week on this verse? Brahma Sutra or Vedanta Sutra. Tattvam asi. Tat tvam asi. So tat refers to this tat. Tvam means you, asi, ho. You are that. So that's the meaning of the sutra. And then what's the interpretation? Vaishnava interpretation and Mayavadi interpretation. Anyone remembers? Tattvamasi. What's the meaning? A famous meaning and a Vaishnava meaning.
I think the famous meaning is that you are that.
You are that. Tattvamasi. You are that. Now
Yes.
they refer that to Supreme Person. So you are also that Supreme Person. Or should rather the person.
Yeah. And then
yeah.
Interpretation is you are a part of that. You're not that, but you are.
No, you are that, but because you are dasa, so you are that. Yeah. Same dasa. Huh?
Yeah.
Another meaning, Vaishnava meaning.
Can't remember. But was it you're representing that you're a part? You're representing. Or you are a part of that. You are not.
Yes.
You
are not him. You are his.
Yes.
You are not him. Him means the Supreme Person. You are his. Yes. Aap uske hain. Like your children is your children. Children is not you.
Yeah.
Children is yours. So we as a children, so we are his. We are not him. And the common understanding they say, oh, aap wahi hai. You are that. Means you're that same Brahman. But that's not the correct understanding. Thank you. Go to the next one. Madhuri Mataji, would you like to do this one?
Prabhu, you are not displaying the screen.
Oh, is it?
You are not sharing the screen.
Mataji, it is there. I can see it.
Okay, I can stop and reshare, but it's just playing as it's being shared. Okay.
I can see it.
You can see?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. I don't know for some reason. Maybe now when I took darshan, I think it switched back. Now I'm able to see the screen.
Okay, sorry. No problem. No problem.
Yeah. Sorry, Prabhu. Its font is too small that I'm not able to read. Even I'm not able to expand. I don't know why.
You have a book with you?
No, Prabhu. Every time I expand, but today I'm not able to expand.
Okay.
Sorry, Mataji, are you using a laptop or
iPad? Yeah.
iPad. Okay. Maybe
iPad, and I should be able to expand every time I do that, but today I don't know why.
Typically, there's a view options thing where you can maybe say what percentage size you want to see.
I know.
At least on the laptop, I see that.
Should I stop and reshare? Will that help?
No, Prabhu. No, I think it is something problem with mine. No. Okay. By the time I sort out, can someone else do?
Okay, sure.
Sorry
Jai Dharma.
about that, Prabhu.
No problem. Jai Dharma, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Would you like to do this 26, 27? A quick recap?
I'm just reading for once. Let me. Sorry, Prabhu, just give me. I'm opening the book. Somehow I'm not able to see here. 26.
Got it, Prabhu. I'm able to
Okay.
see.
The absolute truth is the objective of devotional sacrifice, and it is also indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, and are all works for sacrifice, penance, and charity, which true to the absolute nature are performed to please the Supreme Person of Pratha. I think it is just in continuation with the previous, okay, it's explaining the Sat portion of the Om Tat Sat. So it says, Sat is indicated by absolute truth, which is the objective of the devotional service. And the performer of such sacrifice is Sat, as well as works of sacrifice, penance, and charity.
So basically,
Just trying-
Sadbhave refers to the supreme nature here, in the sense of the nature of the supreme. Sadhubhave refers to the devotee's nature. So Sat refers to, something which is permanent, basically. So again, indicating supreme absolute truth in the permanent sense. Sad iti etat prayujyate, and where it was used, prachaste karmani. Prachaste refers to the prescribed duties. Sat shabdah partha yujyate. So this Sat word was used to refer to the eternal aspect of the supreme absolute truth while doing the prescribed duties. And the examples given are yagye, tapasi, danechar. Now these three words are used in all three verses. Actually, I should read the 4 verses. So in every verse, some people use Sat, some Tat. Prabhupada also have used Om Tat Sat. So he has referred all three. Karma Chaitadarthiyam Sat iti eva vidhiyate. So basically, it's just a reference to the supreme in a different sense, like the eternity aspect of it. Okay, just to the last one. Thank you, Jai Prabhu. I thought I'll just complete that.
Sorry, Prabhu.
No, that's all right. That's all right. 1728, Madhuri Mataji, if you like to do.
Yes, Prabhu. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pratha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next. So even if you do any activity in the mode of goodness, so this is again the continuation, like all the previous verses there. It was mentioned about Om Sat Tat Sat. Now Krishna went ahead and said about asat, like even if you do good in the mode of goodness, sacrifices or charity or penance, but if you do not have a faith in Supreme, then that is of no use. It's impermanent and it is temporary. So some people do for demigods or for some selfish needs, etc., without the faith in the Supreme. So in that case, that is called as asat and it is not useful.
And Pretya no Iha. So Pretya refers to the life after, Iha refers to this life.
Iha life.
So basically,
I
The
can
gist
break
of,
down.
yeah, so gist is
Ashraddhaya.
Ashraddhaya.
Ashraddhaya, that means Shraddha nahi hona, which is without faith.
Yes.
Now,
Now, can we expand that term, without faith? There's a little meaning is, no, that's correct. Without faith, what does it mean in general life? How do we sort of understand without faith? So some people say, I'm an atheist, right? So they say,
yeah, they have a faith. They have a faith that there is no God.
Yes. So everyone is a faithful person. Everyone is a faithful person. Now, we may have faith in the existence of God, or we may have faith in non-existence of God. Now, God exists or not, that's a separate discussion. But I also have a faith, even if I say I'm a faithless person. I'm an atheist. So everyone has the faith, because that faith is represented in our day-to-day life. So many examples are there where we display our faith. So, but when we are talking about Ashraddhaya here, what does it refers to? Ashraddha, no Shraddha in scriptures, basically. So when we don't do these activities, tapas tattam kritam, so in these activity we don't do with Shraddha. So here Shraddha, Ashraddha does not refer to, no Shraddha in anything at all. No, nothing like that. Ashraddha in these things. They don't have any Shraddha, but they do it. What happens? Asad iti uchate, that is impermanent. But if you do these activities with Shraddha, then they give permanent result, which in our case is the purification and eventually liberation and going back to Krishna. So we can just read this word not as just a literal word, but as a contextual word. It's given in context to these activities. Okay, so last week we had a quick discussion about the gist of chapter 18. So this is the longest chapter in Bhagavad Gita, and because it's the last chapter, so Krishna has basically taken different sections of Bhagavad Gita which he has given earlier and re-giving those sections here, because that is very important, and summarizing the whole Bhagavad Gita, which is the surrender to Krishna, and how surrender to Krishna can be achieved through different yogas, which he has explained, will be explained in chapter 18. So we can see Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, the modes of material nature, worshipping Krishna through one's work, again, which is Karma Yoga. And then from Karma Yoga to worship of Krishna, Jnana Yoga to worship of Krishna. In the second last section, you can see the surrender to Krishna, which is one of the most beautiful sections of Bhagavad Gita. Beautiful verses here. And then finally is glories of bhakti, and also written as Arjuna agrees to fight and victory is assured. So 68, 69, 70 is the glories of bhakti and the process of bhakti. And then Arjuna agrees in 1873, and he starts the next step, which is to fight on behalf of Krishna. Okay, so let's start chapter 18. Now, before we start chapter 18, this is not in continuation of chapter 17 in the term, like something which we discussed in the last verse in 17.28 is rediscussed here. It's a sort of a question which Arjun has in his mind, and he is asking for Lok Sangraha. Lok Sangraha means for the benefit of others. He himself does not have any sort of doubts. His doubts are already cleared. Anyone remembers the verse number where Bhagavad Gita says Arjun's doubts were already cleared earlier? Anyone remembers that section of Bhagavad Gita? That's 1873. That's not yet come. Earlier in Bhagavad Gita. After Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, 10.8 to 10.11, 10.12 and 10.13, where Arjun says, Param Brahma Param Dhamam Pavitram Paramam Bhavan. That section, Arjun is quite clear about the position of the Lord and his duties as well. So rest of the Bhagavad Gita from 10.13 onwards is for Loka Sangraha. Loka Sangraha means benefiting the Lokas. So Arjun himself doesn't have, but he's asking again a conceptual clarification in this particular verse. Let's see what does he ask. Who would like to do verse 1? Shraddha Mataji, would you like to do?
Sure, Prabhu. 18.1.
Yes, Mataji.
Sanyayasya mahabhavo
Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho
Tattvam ichchami veditum
Tattvam-ichchami vedutam
yagasya cha hrishikesha
yagasya cha hirshikesha
prathak keshi nishuddhana.
prathakkeshi nishudana.
Translation. Arjuna said, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand the purpose of renunciation, Tyaga, and of the renounced order of life, Sannyasa, O killer of the Keshi demon, master of the senses.
Thank you, Mataji. Now, this chapter is also known as in Sanskrit Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, and Prabhupada translates perfection of renunciation. So, just the renunciation is not the goal. Renunciation has to be perfected, which is to surrender to Krishna. So, this is how this chapter is also starting. Mahabhava refers to Arjun referring to Krishna. Now, interestingly, Krishna has also addressed Arjuna as Mahabhava, and Arjuna is also referring Krishna as Mahabhava. Now, in this particular verse, three terms to Krishna has been used: Mahabhava, Hrishikesha, and Keshi Nishudana. So, Mahabhava refers to your mighty armed one, which obviously Krishna is, and Arjun is as well. In other verses, Krishna has mentioned that. Hrishikesha, anyone remembers the meaning of Hrishikesha?
Master of
Master of
senses.
senses.
Thank you. And Keshi Nishudan, very easy one.
Killer of Keshi demons.
Killer of Keshi demon. So why Arjun has used this term, Keshi Nishudan? Anyone remembers? We have discussed this earlier as well. Or Madhusudan also is being used in Bhagavad Gita. Jayadharma Prabhu, you're on mute if you're speaking to us.
It dispels the darkness or doubts.
Exactly. So as Madhu was a big demon, Keshi was a big demon, but Krishna was able to deliver them. So our doubts are also like those demons. And Krishna, you have the capacity to remove my doubts. So please remove my doubts. So he's mentioning Krishna. Now, what is his question? Sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichchami veditam. So very easy words are used. Tattvam means tattva. What's the philosophy? Ichchami, I desire. Veditam mane, I want to know. So I have a desire to know the tattva of sannyas as well as tyaga. It's clear? It's a very simple verse in that terms. Huh? So I want to know the tattva philosophy behind it. Huh? Very simple. So Prabhupada writes here, O mighty aunt, O Mahabaho, I wish to understand Ichchami Vedatum, the purpose of renunciation, the tattva of renunciation, which is Tyaga, and the renounced order of life, Sannyasa. Now you can say from an overview perspective, Arjun is still trying to clarify his initial doubt. Huh? Sannyas or Tyaga. You remember sannyas means like physically going to the jungle, renouncing all the activities, and Tyag refers to not renouncing the activity while doing the renunciation while doing the activity. Huh? So that's a basic question which he had earlier as well. Now let's see what Krishna responds. 18.2. Jai Dharma Prabhu.
Yeah, sure. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam
Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam
Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu
Sannyasam Kavayo Viduhu
Sarva Karma Phalatyagam
Sarva Karma Phalatyagam
Rahustyagam Vichakshanaha.
Rahustyagam Vichakshanaha.
Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activities that are based on material desire is what great learned men call the renounced order of life, sannyasa. And giving up the results of activities is what the wise call renunciation or tyaga.
Thank you. So, Kamya Nam Karmanam. So, Kamya Nam Karma. Kamya refers to desire. Huh? We have the word Kam as well, desire. Kamya Karma. Kamya Karma means the karma which is done for a particular desire. One simple example, Dashrath Maharaj in Ramayana did Putra Kameshti Yagya. Everyone knows that, right? So what was his desire? To get a putra out of that yagya. So he did a yagya, and the desire was to get a putra, a progeny out of that. So Kaviyo refers to Kavi. Now, Kavi does not just refers to the poet. Kavi also refers to the learned person. Learned person, Viduhu, they say like that. Sannyasam, what's the definition of sannyasa? As per the Kavi or learned people, Kamyanam, Karmanam, Nyasam. Nyasam refers they give up. What do they give up? Kamya karma. So there are two types of karma, Nitya karma and Kamya karma, you can say. Nitya karma means your Sandhya Vandan, your Gayatri, your Puja, daily worship, they're called Nitya karma. And Kamya karma means some karma which has a particular desire and you do with that perspective. So what does sannyas mean? You give up nyas. Nyas. So sannyas word is made up of nyas. Nyas means sannyas, samyakyas. So you are situated well in your original position, basically. So what's the definition of sannyas as per Kavya? Kavyo, kamyanam karmanam nyasam. So you give up nyasam. What do you give up? Kamya karmas. Okay. The second line is the definition of tyaga. What's the definition of tyaga? Sarva karma phala tyagam. Who can tell the translation of it? Very, very simple Sanskrit line. Sarva karma phala tyaga.
Give up all.
Sacrifice of all the activities.
Tyaga. It's not a sacrifice. Tyag means give up.
Give up.
Sannyas and tyag is same word, like give up. But what sannyasi is giving up?
Desires.
Kamya karma. Kamya karma means a karma which has a particular desire. He gives up that. What a tyagi is giving up?
The results of
Sarva karma phala. Now he's saying, giving up karma phala, not karma. You see the difference? Giving up the karma phala. Now, we usually work through the phala, isn't it? Unless we achieve the phala, we will not do the karma. So what we're saying, do not quit the activity. What do you have to quit? Karma phala. And how many karma phalas you have to quit? 1, 2, 3. How many karma phalas you have to quit? Give up.
Give everything.
Sarva. Sarva. Because even if you are doing one karma phala, one karma with the attachment to the phala, what will happen? You will get entangled. You will get bound. So you see the difference between sannyasa and tyaga? Now again, this tyaga and tyaga is here. So this tyaga refers to the person tyagi, the person who is giving up. This tyaga refers to he gives up. What does he give up? Sarva karma phala tyaga. So Krishna gives a very high level definition here of a sannyasi. Again, there are so much details to it, but a high level sannyasi gives up karma karma. Anyone can give an example, sannyasi giving up karma karma? Now, grahasthas work on the karma karma. As I gave the example of Dashrath Maharaj, right? He had a kamna, he had a desire, and he did with this consultation to his Guru Maharaj, he did that yajna. That's fine. No problem with that. But a sannyasi will do a putra kameshti yajna, for example? No. Sannyasi is not going after any material kamna, any material desires. What to speak of, chasing up. So sannyasi obviously gives up everything. But here, the difference between sannyasa and karma, as emphasized by Krishna, is sannyasi gives up karma karma, all sorts of karma karma. He gives up. And tyagi, what is sarva karma phala tyagam? And the important point which Krishna is going to emphasize soon, do not quit the activity. What we have to quit? What you have to give up? The
Karma
attachment to the phala of the activity. And that's where Arjun's answer is coming, because Arjun wants to know, should I take a sannyas or I do my activity with the tyaga of the phala? So let's see what Krishna says next. 18.3. This is also very nice verse. Prasannata Prabhu, if you can.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yeah. Tyajyam doshavad iti eke.
Tyajyam doshavad iti eke.
Karma prahur manishana.
Karma prahur manishana.
Yajnadana tapa karma.
Yajnadana tapaha karma.
Natyajyam iti chapare.
Natyajam iti chapare.
Translation. Some learned men declare that all kinds of fruity activities should be given up as faulty. Yet other sages maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So here Krishna is presenting two different types of opinions. AK refers to like one group of people. They say something, apare, another group of people say something else. So let's see what the first one says as per Krishna. Tyajam doshvad iti eke karma. So karma should be tyajam. Karma should be given up. Why? It's doshvad. It's doshvad. Dosh means it's full of faults. What's the fault they see? If you do karma, you get a reaction. That's what they say. Now, we are not saying that's the conclusive and correct understanding. What Krishna is saying, that's one opinion. And let's see what Krishna is referring these people as Manishinaha. What is the meaning of Manish? Here we don't have Manish Prabhu, but we have Manish Prabhu. So Manaha Isha. Manaha means mind, Isha means controller. One who is a controller of mind, that's called Manish. It's a very nice word. Huh? And Prabhupada writes as a great thinker. Some learned men declare, or a great thinker. They declare. So, although you will see in the following verses, Krishna is not recommending this approach, but what he's saying, he is not saying, oh, these people are not very learned. Actually, he's respecting them. Huh? So, although this is not the conclusion which Krishna recommends, that you give up all the karma, but still Krishna respects their opinion, and he's calling them Manishinaha. And we'll see the beautiful usage of this word again in 18.5. Huh? So this is one party saying, Tyajam karma. Give up the karma. Why? It's doshvat. It has faults in it. Let's see what the apare say. Apare means other group. Kunti Maharani also uses the word apare vasudevasya in 1.8. So, yagya dan tapah karma natyajam. Very clearly is written. Huh? So here it was saying tyajam. He's saying natyajam. You should not give up. What you should not give up? Yagya dan tapah karma. You should not give up. Apare. Other people say like that. So Krishna is being very respectful to the people who are saying, give up the karma. Huh? So although the opinion of these people is very contrary to what Krishna's conclusion is, but is still very, very respectful. So that shows how much respectful we should be if Krishna is so respectful for the other's opinion. Now, it doesn't mean if you respect them, you agree to them. We are not saying that. Respecting means, yes, if your opinion is like that, your opinion is like that, but Bhagavad Gita opinion is something else. Huh? So we don't have to agree to that, to all those opinions which are opposite to Bhagavad Gita's opinion, but we can respect them. 18.4. Go back, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, if you like to go.
Sure, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Nishchayam shunu me tatra
Nishchayam shunu me tatra
tyage bharata sattama
tyage bharata sattama
tyago hi purusha vyagra
tyago hi purusha vyagraha
trividha samprakirtita.
trividha samprakirtitaha.
Translation. O best of the Bharatas, now hear my judgment about renunciation. O tiger among men, renunciation is declared in the scriptures to be of three kinds. Right.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nishchayam. So Nishchay is a Hindi word. Huh? Nishchay, definitely. Shunu me. So please hear from me. So in the previous verse, there were two opinions, right? So Arjun may ask the question. So Krishna, you gave two opinions. Which one is valid? So Krishna himself says, Nishchayam shunu me tatra. I will tell you the conclusion. Tyage about what? About Tyaga, I'll give you the conclusion. Tyago hi purush vyagra. So vyagra refers to the tiger. Now Arjun in this particular verse is referred as purusha vyagra. You are tiger amongst the men. Now is it a respectable title or a disrespectable title? It's a very respectable title. Like a Kshatriya is compared as a tiger. Tiger is very, very strong, very ferocious. So this Kshatriya, this Arjun here, is referred to as a Purusha Vyagra. It's a very respectable title for a Kshatriya. And Krishna is saying, because you are a Purusha Vyagra, you should not be overcome by different other misconceptions. Because Vyagra, tiger, is very ferocious. No small animal can overcome the tiger. So you are also like a man, tiger in men. So you should also not sell yourself for the other misconceptions. And what is the other misconception? Krishna will clarify in the next chapter. In this verse, he's basically respecting Arjuna, is saying, you're tiger amongst men. You should not sell yourself for the other opinions. And what's the nishchaya of the opinion? What's the conclusion of the opinion given in 18.3? I will give you in 18.5. This is a transition verse. Also, one thing we can say here, Krishna is respecting other thinkers, which Krishna doesn't agree with. Krishna is also respecting Arjuna, who's a student. Now, a student is a sort of a lower scale, teacher is in a higher scale, but here see Krishna is so respectful to his student as well. So he has mentioned Arjuna as Sabyasachi, if you remember in 11th chapter, means you can shoot arrows with both hands. Now he's saying Purush Vyagra. So see the sweet relationship between the teacher and the student. It's just not because he's lower in India, at least, I've experienced many times when a teacher is speaking, he does not respect students at all. When a teacher becomes a teacher. But here we see Krishna as a supreme person, has full authority, very respectful to the qualities of his student Arjuna. Purusha Vyagra. And now also Krishna says, which he will expand later. It's just so you can say introductory words. Trividaha samprakirtita. So Tyag is also of 3 types, which Krishna will explain. First, he will give his conclusive opinion, then he will expand the Tyag in mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So let's see what is Krishna's conclusion, because 18.3 presented 2 opinions. Let's see what Krishna's opinion is. This is a very famous verse. I'm not sure it's in the list, Sudhir Gopal Prabhu, but in a personal list, please add this very famous verse, 18.5. Manmohan Prabhu, if you like to do that.
Prabhu, thank you. Yagyadana tapah karma
Yagyadana tapah karma
na tyajayam karyameva tat
na tyajam karyameva tat
yagyodanam tapashaiva
yagyodana tapaschaiva
pavanani manishinam.
pavanani manishinam.
Translation: acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are not to be given up. They must be performed. Indeed, sacrifice, charity, and penance purify even the great souls. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Then the previous verse, what Krishna says, Nishchayam Shrudu Metat. So certainly there's a conclusion to it, and please hear from me. So what is Krishna's conclusion? 18.5 is Krishna's conclusion or Krishna's recommendation. So what is the recommendation? Yagya, dana, tapa, karma. So very clear. Yagya, dana, and tapa. Natyajam. You remember in 18.3, 2 opinions were given. Yagyadan tapa karma natyajam. Same words are used here. Yagyadan tapa karma natyajam. Karyam evatat. Eva means certainly you should not give them up. So, okay, that's one conclusion. And Krishna just put the second line, which is very beautiful. Why it should not be given up? Because Yagyadan tapa, similar words are used. Cha eva pavanani manishinam. Anyone remembers where the manishi word is used? 18.3. And what are they saying? Give up. So Krishna very respectfully presents their opinion and then give his recommendation. What is the recommendation? Please do not give up Yagyadan Tapa because it will purify even those who are against it. Isn't it? See, these people are against it. They are saying, Manish, they are saying, give up, give up, give up. Krishna says, please do not give up. Why you should not give up? Because it will purify you as well. And we give an example like we have yagya, sannyasis do yagya, sannyasis do dana, and sannyasis do tapa as well, austerity as well. Although they don't need further purification, they are already fully purified. We need purification, but they also do it. They also do it. Why? It's a recommendation of Krishna. Krishna is saying you should never give them up. So any time in our life, we should never give up these activities like doing austerity. Again, our purpose of austerity is not to say reduce fat because we are very fat. So in a Kartik Mass, we are trying to reduce the fat and we take the umbrella of Kartik. Now you can do it, but that should not be the purpose. Fat reduction is not the purpose of Kartik or, the Adhik Mass or Purushottam Mass. That's not the purpose. The purpose is the purification. For pleasing the Lord, we want to have more time in our diary so that we can do more devotional activity, more devotional act, so that we get purified and Lord is pleased with us and give us some extra mercy. So that's the whole idea. Now, some people do it, okay, Ekadashi hai, so fat bahut badh gaya hai. There's a lot of fat in the body, so you're taking, but the right purpose of Ekadashi is to increase the devotional acts and reduce the material acts. Anyway, so it's a beautiful statement saying you should not give them up because it will purify even Manishana, great thinkers. So very respectfully, Krishna has given his own conclusion. Now, what does Yajna Dana Tapa do? As we know, there are 3 types of kleshas. Anyone remembers the 3 types of kleshas? Very simple one.
Adi Daivik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik.
Can anyone explain other than Madhuri
Adi.
Mataji? Okay, means everyone can say.
Yeah, Atmik is related to our own self, like our body or mind. And
Primarily, it says mind. So, Bhautik contains your body and the jivas around the body. Can be a human beings or a mosquito or other types of anything materially existing around you, and your body is also around you. Because you're not the body, you're around you as a soul. So body is included in Adi Bhautik. Adhyatmik refers to that mental space. And then we have Devik, which is coming from the demigod, like the floods and tsunamis and bushfires and whatnot. So these 3 kleshas are counteracted by Yajna, Dan, and Tapaha. So when we do Yajna, which klesha it counteracts, you can guess. We do sacrifice for the demigods, isn't it? So by doing Yajna, you are counteracting which klesha? Adi Daivik klesha. Huh? Is it clear? Because we're doing Yajna, it's beneficial. Yajna brings rain. Yajna does so many activities for the demigods. Danam, when we do Dana, which klesha we are counteracting? So there are 2 more left, Adhyatmik and Adi Bhautik. So Tapa refers to Adi Bhautik. Because when we are doing Tapa, our senses get purified. This body gets purified. When we do some sort of austerity, again, our purpose is to please the Lord. Our senses, which are impurified, they get purified. So how many doshas we have counteracted? Kleshas we have counteracted? One from you're on mute.
Adi Daivik and Adi Bhautik.
Yep. So Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, how do you contract? By Yajna. When we do Yajna, the Devatas are satisfied. And it's also referred in 3rd chapter, if you remember. If the Devatas are satisfied, they do rains. They provide the rains, and then the Anna comes in the whole cycle. And obviously, ultimate is Krishna there. So Adi Bhautik is done. Adi Bhautik, how do you purify the Adi Bhautik klesha or reduce Adi? By doing tapas. Tapasya karne se indriya, our senses, gets purified. And which is left now?
Adhyatmik.
Adhyatmik klesha by doing dan. Dan means the charitable act. Now, how do you do charitable act? It can be in a physical sense as well as in a mental sense. Like we are doing right now, you can say Gyan Dan, isn't it? Gyan Dan is considered the best Dan. Why? Because it can not only uplift the body, but also uplift the souls. If you do Dan of a prasadam, for example, or food or a finance, it can uplift the body, no problem. But Gyan Dan is the ultimate upliftment of the soul. So when we are talking about Yajna, Dan, Tapa, because they are necessary for each soul, because each soul will be experiencing these 3 kleshas. So if you want to contract these 3 kleshas, you have to do Yajna, Dan, Tapa, and this is the Nishchay, final conclusion of Krishna. And very nicely, very humbly saying, Pavanani Manishanam. So we have Manishis, we have Manish Prabhu here or Manmohan Prabhu here, but they are Manishis, they are great thinkers. He's also a great thinker. So it can purify you as well. Now, Prabhu is a devotee, so we can't use the word Manish, but they are Manishis, great thinkers. So very beautiful verse 18.5. Please learn if you can. It's a very simple verse, maybe not for exam, but for your personal reference. Okay, let's move to the next one, 18.6.
Sorry, Prabhu, I have one question.
Sure, Prabhuji. Sure.
Prabhu, I think Yajna, Dana, Tapa we discussed. So in this karma, I think in the translation it has been mentioned like acts of, but karma in this can also refer to any prescribed duties also should not be given up. Other than Yajna, Dana, Tapa, the prescribed duties as a karma.
Yes, because Yajna, Dan, Tapa, you will be doing as per your prescribed duties. Like if you're a sannyasi, if you're a kshatriya, for different varnas and ashramas, your Yajna, Dan, Tapa will vary. Yes, you can say under that umbrella. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, 18.6. Who wants to do? I'll just leave it to you guys.
I can do it. Etani apitu karmani
Etani apitu karmani
sangam tyaktva phalani cha
sangam tyaktva phalani cha
kartavyani me partha
kartavyan iti me partha
nishchitam matamuttamam.
nishitam matam uttamam.
Translation: all these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. They should be performed as a matter of duty, O son of Pritha. This is my final opinion.
Yeah, I love when Krishna says my opinion. So many times in Bhagavad Gita, he is referring his views as his opinion. So we should learn from Krishna that we should also present our opinion, not impose our thoughts on others. If they are happy to accept, obviously we can share more. Otherwise, it's our opinion, and we can respect others' opinion as well. Okay, so what is Krishna's opinion? Etani apitu karmani. What does etani refers to? Anyone remembers? Etani? Yajna, dan, and tapa karma. So the previous verse which we just discussed, and this has been mentioned again and again. Sangam tyaktva phalanisha. So what does he have to give up? Tyaktva phala. Phala of those activity, because sangha refers to attachment. Because we are usually attached, so Krishna is saying sangam tyaktva. You give up the attachment for the phala. Kartavyan iti me partha. So why we should do that? Because of kartavya. Anyone can give an example where someone has done yajna or tapa just as a matter of kartavya, not because he wanted the result. I have discussed this example earlier.
I think in
Yudhishthira
Bhagavatam, one wish.
Okay, let's take one by one. So, Jai Dharma Prabhu, you said something?
Sorry, in the Bhagavatam, I think you are referring one Rishi, one Kshatriya Raj, like he does
Bharat
for the
Maharaj.
benefit of
Bharat Maharaj, 5.1. It's been clearly mentioned. He had a family, he produced 5 sons, and it's clearly written, I can't remember the verse obviously, but it says, he produced the son not because of karma, just because as a matter of duty. Because he's a king, he has to produce a progeny for the next. Now, what will happen to, that's a different story. But he did as a matter of duty. He is doing Indra thinking as a arms of Krishna, arms of the Supreme Person, and he's doing yajna. Because he's a king, he has to do all these yajnas to set up an example. So that's one example. Madhuri Mataji, you are saying something else.
Yudhishthira Maharaj.
Yudhishthira Maharaj also did this yajna and said that what was the purpose of Rajasuya yajna? Not to get the result for Rajasuya yajna, glorify the kirti of Krishna. So he is a pure devotee, obviously. He is mentioned as Haridas in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna is saying here, which obviously devotees have sort of adopted in their lifestyle, this should be done as a kartavya. And the kartavya, which means prescribed duty based on your varna and ashrama, which may be different for different people. Nishchitam matamuttamam. This is my nishchit mata, definite opinion, my final opinion. Now, there is no further discussion needs to be done. But Krishna is saying very humbly. Now, Krishna could have said, you must do like this. Chaitanya Prabhu says many times, Bhagavad Gita is not a book of commandments as another religion. They have a book of commandments. Do this, do not do that. Bhagavad Gita is a book of choices. And this is like one example, and many more examples are given. So Krishna is giving, this is my opinion. Now, if I don't agree with Krishna's opinion, that's fine. But Krishna is saying, if you agree with my opinion is you should not have any attachment to the phala, and do it as a matter of duty. Let's go to the next one. Now he will talk in 18.7, 8 and 9, different types of tyaga. So tyag in mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. So we'll start from tamas. Tamas means ignorance. Who wants to do this?
Can I do it, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you. Niyatasya sannyasah
Niyatasya tu sannyasah
karmano nopapadyate
karmano nopapadyate
mohattasya parityagas
mohatasya parityagas
tamasa parikirtitah.
tamasaha parikirtitah.
Translation: prescribed duties should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
Thank you. So renunciation is generally very much appreciated, especially in Indian society or society which has some touch of Vedic culture, but it's not necessary. It's not necessary. Renunciation can also be in mode of ignorance. And what's the example Krishna is giving here? Prescribed duty should never be renounced. So if you're a grahastha, you're supposed to, go out and work and earn some money and, provide some basic facilities to your family. If you renounce it, actually it may be in mode of ignorance. So I'll just read the Sanskrit here. Niyatasya tu sannyasa. Niyat refers to niyat karma, means prescribed duties. Sannyasa refers to give up. Here sannyasa does not refers to a person. Sannyasa refers to give up. If you give up niyat karma, niyatasya tu refers to but. Anyone remembers another verse which has used this word tu? Very famous verse. Everyone knows. Huh?
Neha Vikramana.
No, that doesn't have tu. Tu. Very, very famous verse.
Krishnastu Bhagavan.
Thank you. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. All these incarnations of Krishna are valid, but Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. 1.3.28 Bhagavatam. So, Niyatasya tu, but, so previously Krishna was glorifying, giving his final opinion, saying, but if you, sannyas, give up your niyata karma, why do you give up your niyata karma? Moha, due to illusion. I don't need to do this. So some people just, watching TV or playing video games whole day. Mama will say, beta, you are 25 now, go out, get some work. So no, beta is just out of illusion, not doing his prescribed duties. And there are many types in that. So if you do that sort of tyaga, it is called tamasa tyaga, mode of ignorance renunciation. That renunciation Krishna does not recommend at all. Now let's see what's the renunciation mode of passion. Jai Dharma Prabhu, would you like to read?
Sure. Dukkam iti eva yat karma.
Dukkam iti eva yat karma.
Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet.
Kaya klesha bhayat tyajet.
Sakritva rajasam tyagam.
Sakritva rajasam tyagam.
Naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
Naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
Anyone who gives up prescribed use is as troublesome or out of fear of bodily discomfort is said to have renounced in the mode of passion. Such an action never leads to the elevation of renunciation.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So now he's talking about Rajas Tyaga, mode of passion Tyaga. So why he is doing this sort of Tyaga? Dukkham, karma dukkham. So in this karma is a lot of dukkha is there. I have to, if I get a job, I have to work for 16, 17 hours. No, I will not do that. Kaya, klesha, my body will be discomforted by doing this work. For example, bhayat. What is the bhaya? What's the fear? That my body will be discomforted. My karma is very troublesome. Dukkham karma. Sakratva, if he does that, that tyaga is called rajasam tyaga. And what's the result of that? Naiva tyaga phalam labhet. He will not get the result of tyaga. Result of tyaga is to achieve elevation, purification. But if he's just evading his activity, avoiding his activity, whatever is prescribed out of his varna and ashrama, then that sort of tyag will not give any result which you aspire for. So that sort of tyag is also not recommended. So let's see what is tyag in mode of goodness, which is recommended by Krishna. This is also a very nice verse. Prasannatma Prabhu. Sorry, today the circle is very small, so I'm just going around.
Karyam ityeva yat karma.
Karyam ityeva yat karma.
Niyatam kriyate Arjuna.
Niyatam kriyate Arjuna.
Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva.
Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva.
Satyaga satviko mataha.
Satyaga satviko mataha.
Translation. O Arjuna, when one performs his prescribed duty only because it ought to be done and renounces all material association and all attachments to the fruit, his renunciation is said to be in the mode of goodness.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So here, karyam iti eva yat karma. Niyatam kriyate Arjuna. So niyatam karma again. Niyatam karma refers to again niyata karma, prescribed duties. This person, hey Arjun, if this person does that, how does he do that niyata karma? Sangam tyaktva phalam chaiva. So again, he is emphasizing on that point. What is emphasizing on the point? The phalam sangha we should not have. Like what phala I'm going to achieve. What phala I'm going to achieve. So based on just the phala, the whole activity is driven. That should not be the case. Satyagaha satviko mataha. Again, mataha word is used. I don't know how many times, maybe someone can count how many times in Bhagavad Gita Krishna is using this word mataha, mataha, mataha. My opinion. So in my opinion, what is sattvika tyaga? Mode of goodness tyaga, where the person who is doing the tyaga does not have any sangam, any attachment to the phala of the karma, and he does not give up the prescribed duties. Again, prescribed duties will vary based on your varna and ashrama. So if we are able to do that, then even if it's troublesome, even if it is give some kaya klesha, if your body is discomforted, you still keep doing it. Again, not desiring the result of that activity. You do it as a matter of kartavya tini, as a matter of kartavya or duty, then it purifies you. And then you achieve the perfection of renunciation in this context, which is to purify yourself. The perfection of renunciation as per chapter sake will be to become a devotee of Krishna. But in this context, you will achieve the aspired result of renunciation. Now he expands on 18.9 in these verses here. So first he said, do your niyata karma as a matter of duty. Do not desire the result of it. And then he expands on it. So 18.10 is the expansion of 18.9. Let's see what he says. Who wants to do?
I can do, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Nadveshti akushalam karma.
Nadveshti akushalam karma.
Kushale nanusajjate.
Kushale nanusajjate.
Tyagi sattva samavishto.
Tyagi sattva samavishto.
Medhavi chinna samshaya.
Medhavi chinna sanshayaha.
Translation. The intelligent renouncer, situated in the mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about work.
So now, as I said, it's a continuation of the previous verse. You see, na dveshti. Dveshti means hatredful. Hatredful of what? Akushalam karma. Akushalam karma, Prabhupada refers to as inauspicious work. So kushal refers to auspicious work, or you can say the work which you like. So when you are doing your prescribed duty, some work you will like, some work you will not like. It happens all the time. You cannot like all the work. Prabhupada gives the example of a lady working in the kitchen in a hot sun in May, June in India, is very much discomforted by that activity, but she's very happy in her heart because she's going to make nice prasada for the family. So body is discomforted, but she's very duty bound, and she's loving that work from that perspective. So na dveshti akushalam karma, any inauspicious work, anything which does not produce a good result out of that matter of duty, you do not do hatredfulness of that. Kushale na anusajjate. Anusajjate refers to attachment. So you have no attachment to the work which you like or the work which brings auspicious results. If it is a matter of duty, even the work which is akushala, you still do it. And you're not attached to, I'll just take the goodies and I'll not do the baddies. It doesn't work that way. There will be some good and some bad. Tyagi sattva samaveshta. Tyagi sattva samaveshta, the person who is doing tyag in the mode of goodness, and Krishna recommends he is a medhavi. Anyone remembers this word, medhavi chhatra? In Hindi, we used to use this word, medhavi means very intelligent student. Medhavi and chin sanshaya, and he will have no doubts. The only person who has doubts, because we always, mostly, we want to pick up the good part of it. Bad, we want to give up. But if you are doing as a matter of duty, good or bad, it brings auspicious or inauspicious result, I still have to do it. Now, a simple example, because Arjun is standing on the battlefield, and he thinks, at least he thinks, by killing others, he will get a bad reaction, isn't it? That's the akushal karma. And he's saying, no, I should not do that. Krishna is saying you should not do a dvesha to that activity because this is your duty to do that. As a part of Dharma Yuddha, you have to kill on the battlefield because you have already tried other options. So you should not do hatred of that because it has come upon you. You have to do it. Although it's akushala karma, you still do it. And then Krishna is saying all the doubts will be removed if you act in such a way. And you are a medhavi. You're a very intelligent person. So Prabhupada writes, the intelligent renouncer. Medhavi, Prabhupada adds in the Tyagi. Intelligent renouncer, situated in mode of goodness, neither hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work, has no doubts about what should be done, what should not be done. He's very clear about it. Now you can say a question. Now, why even do the work? Why even do the work? So this response is given in 18.11. Anyone?
I can do it.
Yes.
Nahi dehabhrata shakyam
Nahi dehabhrata shakyam
yaktum karmanya sheshatah
yaktam karmanya sheshatah
yastu karma phalatyagi
yastu karma phalatyagi
satyageya vidhiyate.
satyagi abhidhiyate.
It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced.
Thank you, Prabhu. So now when you ask a question between 18.10 and 18.11, why don't you just give up everything? So Krishna gives this response. Now this is very similar to a verse in 3rd chapter. I can't remember the number. Nahi kasyat chanam api jatu tisthate akarmakritah. Not even for a moment you can give up all the activities. You can give up some activity, like breathing is also an activity, digestion is an activity, your heart is functioning, your lungs are functioning. So you can't give up. A similar message Krishna is giving through this verse. Nahi deha bhrata shakya. Shakya means possible. Na shakya, not possible. For whom? Deha bhrata. One who has deha, for him, it's not possible. What is not possible? Tyaktum, to give up. Karmani asheshata. Asheshata means to give up every karma. It's not possible. Anyone who has a body to give up all karma. Yeah, you can give up some karma. To give up all karma, that's not possible because you have a deha. Just to maintain your body, you have to do some level of karma. Yes, to karma phala tyagi satyagi, but who does not give up the karma, as Krishna is recommending, but what does he give? Karma phala tyagi, but he can give up the karma phala. He can give up the karma phala. Satyagi abhidhiyate. That is a true renouncer. So a beautiful definition Krishna is giving. So again, initial question of Arjun, Tyag or Sannyas, Krishna is saying, you should not worry about the Sannyas, what you should worry about the Tyag. And Tyag is not Tyag of the action, Tyag of the phala of the action. So you perform your duty. Basically, that's the message Krishna is giving to Arjuna. You do your duty without getting attached to the fruits of the duty. Let's go to the next one. 1812. Who wants to do?
I'll do it. Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anishtam ishtam mishram cha
Anishtam ishtam mishram cha
vividham karmana phalam
trividham karmana phalam
bhavayeti
atyaginam
atyaginam pretya
bhavati atyaginam pretya
natu sannyasinam kvachit.
natu sannyasinam kvachet.
Translation. For one who is not renounced, the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. Thanks, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So the three words are used here. Very simple word. Anishta. In Hindi also is anishta ho gaya. Anishta means what you did not desire. Ishta mane what you desire. So the work can produce three types of results. It can be either ishta. Ishta means what you desired. Anishta means what you did not desire. And mishra means mishra, mixed. Prabhupada writes desirable, undesirable, and mixed. Isn't it? There can be only three results of any karma. You make palak paneer, it comes nice, desirable, it got burnt, undesirable, and mixed. Prabhuji said, chalega. 50 devotees coming, chal jayegi. It's not the best, chalega. Mishra. So any activity can result into these three portions. So Krishna is saying anishtam, ishtam, mishram cha, trividham karmanam phalam. So there can be three types of karma phala. So bhavati atyaginam pretya. So bhavati means to be, bhava, bhavasagar. Bhavati atyaginam is one who has not done the tyaga. Not done the tyaga of what? Phala. So pretya refers to, anyone remembers? We have used this word second time here. Actually, in 17th chapter also we use this word. Pretya.
After life, everybody has to.
Thank you. Everyone has to become a preta. The pretya means after death. So whatever current body we have after death. So first we go to that state, pretya, afterlife. 1728 also used this word. Pretya na iha. So in this life or in the life after. Similarly, Krishna is saying, if you are atyagi, you will get the results of your action, which are ishta, anishta, or mishra. If you are atyagi. But natu, to again word is used, but na, you will not get if you are a sannyasi. Sannyasi means if you have given up. What you have given up? Karma phala. So basically what Krishna is saying, if you have not given up the karma phala, you will get the result. You will accrue the results. Whatever actions you have done, good, bad, or mixed one. But if you have given up the karma phala, and here the word sannyasi is used, giving up the karma phala, then you will not accrue any results. So basically, again, passing message to Krishna. If you give up the karma phala, your karma will not bind you. But if you don't give up the karma phala, karma will bind you. And then after life, you have to suffer or enjoy based on the karma. So very clear message Krishna is giving. Now, before I go to 1813, unless someone has a question, I'll go to this MIH guide and just see this.
Can I ask you?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Prabhu, what happens to those people, let's say, who in due course of time gave up the karmas? So, for example, not the karmas, the phala of the karmas. So, let's say in the initial part of their life, they are like normal people, they do whatever, but then they get the knowledge, they gain the knowledge from the sources.
Yes.
And then after that, they understand this and they give up all this. So what happens to those sort of people?
Very, very practical questions Sundar Gopal is asking. So basically, in the initial stage of life, we are doing all the Ishta, Anishta, Mishra, and all that. And then at one stage of life, we understand the importance of this sort of theory and we start adopting it. But after a while, you get used to it. What happens? What you have accumulated so far? The answer is given very clearly in Bhagavad Gita 18.66. When you come and surrender unto me, I take care of all your previous reactions. I take care of it. So Krishna basically writes your account off, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, as soon as you surrender to Krishna. So your question is valid. Like in n million lifetimes, you have accumulated, just to give an example, 10 million negative karma and 2 million positive karmas. Krishna writes off your account. You are accumulating. As per nature's law, this is what we are reading. You are accumulating good, bad, whatever you do. But when you surrender to Krishna, at that stage, Krishna writes off your account. Now, Krishna may decide, you still go through your reactions, even after you have surrendered. That's for two reasons: for your purification, because you need more purification, or to set up an example in the world. Like when Prabhupada was going through so many bodily things, it wasn't the suffering of his reaction. It was to set up a very high level of example. It says Draupadi and Pandava's suffering was completely arranged by Krishna. Now you say, oh, Krishna is arranging the suffering of devotees. Yes, Krishna is arranging the suffering of devotee because Krishna gives them the intelligence and the power of tolerance so that they can tolerate the pain, but it sets up an example for the whole world. Does that answer your question?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Manmohan Prabhuji or Mataji.
So that same 18.66.
Yes.
So somebody had asked me this question that in the shloka it says, I'll take away all your sinful reactions. But then they asked me whether the good actions, what happens to them. And I kind of explained that any action that would bring you back is indirectly a bad action. So
absolutely, you're right, Ru. You're right. Even good actions are bad action in terms of achieving the ultimate goal. Sankarshan Maharaj gave a very beautiful example. Suppose you give someone a free medicine, for example. Now the result of that action is just in material terms. You will be given free medicine one day. So Maharaj said that means you have to become sick in one lifetime, and then someone will walk in and give you a free medicine. So Maharaj said, is it good? So that help on a material level, not that we are saying don't do it, it's not good enough because it binds you to the material nature, and material nature will give you reaction. You give someone 10 rupees or something, you'll get it back with interest. But then the point is you are in need of 10 rupees and someone, gives you in that moment. So it is what you said is absolutely correct, even good or bad. And the example, one more comes to my mind, Prabhu. Dinabandhu Prabhupada disciple, when he was doing the parikrama in Vrindavan, and when people were in Jamuna, Prabhuji asked, so what's the difference between Ganga and Jamuna? So some people said, Ganga also purifies, and Dinabandhu Prabhu said, absolutely, Ganga takes away all your sin. Jamuna also takes away all your sins, as well as good ones. And half of the people started walking out because they don't want to give up the good actions. They want to give up the bad actions, but not the good. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita 18.6, it says, you don't have to just leave bad for the sake of Krishna, also good for the sake of Krishna. An example given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur is gopis of Vrindavan. They gave up good. Good means they gave up their family life, their husbands, their children, for the sake of Krishna. Because they gave up good for the sake of Krishna, they became such a highly elevated devotee. Now, we can't do that, huh? We doing it will be very immature action, but we're talking from that ultimate perspective, because gopis were such a highly elevated devotee. When they gave up good for the sake of Krishna, they became more elevated. If we become, we follow in that path now, it will become tamasa tyaga. Tamasa tyaga means tyag in mode of ignorance, because we are not so mature as yet. So we should perform our duties for our purification. Is that okay?
Thanks, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice
Hare
question
Krishna.
and nice answer by Manmohan Prabhu. Yes, Yadharma Prabhu.
Prabhu, just a clarification, like the 11th, whatever we just read, which says we can give up all the activities as well, but the true renunciation is the one who renounces the fruits of action, right? So
Yes.
even in chapter 6 or somewhere, we read like out of karma sannyasa and karma yoga, like one who gives up the activities and one who works in devotion rather gives up that. It's something similar. Can we
Yes.
say that?
Yes, Prabhuji. So this is the karma section we are reading. So that's why I was coming back to MIH guide, just to refresh our memory. So this is the section which we are reading, or we just finished reading, Karma Yoga section. And Krishna explains that superiority of working in devotion over renunciation of work. Renunciation of work means you give up the work. But Krishna is saying superiority of working in devotion. So you work in devotion. Now here, obviously, the word devotion is used, and which you don't see in the verses. So basically, verses say sarva karma phala tyaga again and again. The Prabhupada sort of translates, obviously, in the purports as work in devotion. But even if you take the literal meaning here, you should give up the phala, not the activity, and you should do the activity in the mode of renunciation. So, yeah, it's correct. Now we are entering into the next section, which is called Jnana Yoga. Again, 6 verses. Krishna will expand on that. And 19 to 40 will be an expansion of what we will discuss in 13 to 18. So these 20 verses will be just an expansion. So basically, we'll continue this Jnana Yoga section. So we just finished the Karma Yoga section. We'll continue Jnana Yoga section for the next 2 verses. The difference between this and this is this will introduce some topics and we'll read those topics, and the third section will expand those topics into mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, mode of goodness, passion, ignorance, like that. So each topic will be expanded in these 20 verses. So let's see this Jnana Yoga section. So 13, who would like to read? Today we are getting so much opportunity to read verses.
I can do, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Panchaitani Mahabaho.
Panchaitani Mahabaho.
Karanani Nibodhame.
Karanani Nibodhame.
Sankhe Kritante Proktani
Sankhe Kritante Proktani
Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam.
Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam.
O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me.
Hare Krishna. So,
Hare-
Panche Tani Mahabaho. Again, Krishna is referring to Arjuna. It's Mahabaho, oh mighty armed one. Panche. Pancha refers to 5. Everyone knows that. Pancha Tattva. So, Panche Tani Mahabaho. Karmani Nibodh me. So, there are 5 causes for an action. 5 causes for the completion of the action. For the completion of the action. Now, where it is recommended? Sankhya Kritante Proktani. It's given in Sankhya. Now, Prabhupada writes here in Vedanta. So, we'll discuss about Sankhya and Vedanta in a second. Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam. Siddhi means to perfection or to complete. Sarva Karmanam, to complete all the activities to get to the perfection or the completion of the activity. Sankhya Kritante, Vedanta recommends there are 5 causes. So, that's sort of a summary of that verse. So, as per the Vedanta, there are 5 causes which leads to the completion or success of that work. And that refers to Sarva Karmanam. Not only like one type of work will have 5 causes, another type of work will have 2 causes or 10 causes, not like all karma to lead to Siddhaya, to lead to perfection or the completion will have 5 causes. Now, I would like to read Prabhupada purport here. Very nice. He says there are 5 causes for all activities, and for success in all activity, one should consider these 5 causes. Sankhya, now Prabhupada writes here about Sankhya. Sankhya means the stock of knowledge, and Vedanta is the final stock of knowledge accepted by all leading acharyas. So, Sankhya, as Prabhupada writes, is stock of knowledge. It's like a pool of knowledge. Vedanta is the end. Veda Anta. Anta says the conclusion of Veda. So, Vedanta, and Prabhupada also gives a sort of analogy here. Sankhya is like the whole tree, and Vedanta is like the stalk on which the flower is blossoming. So, if you consider a tree which has some flowers, so the flower which has a stalk means uska, there's a stem by which the flower is attached to the tree. When you pluck a flower, you take that stem out. So, with that stem, with the knowledge, Vedanta is connected to Sankhya. So, Sankhya, again, the whole tree you can say is the Sankhya, but the flower is the Vedanta of it. So, as per the Sankhya Kritante Vedanta, which is the flower, every karma, sarva karmani, leading to siddha, leading to perfection, will have panchetani, 5 karanani. Karan refers to karan, causes, 5 causes. Now, next, obviously, 18.14, Krishna will explain what those 5 steps are, which leads to the completion of a job. It's a very interesting verse, and you can apply this in any field of life. And I really like this verse, 18:14, and we'll see why. Who wants to read this one?
I'll read, Prabhu.
Okay.
Adhishtanam tata karta.
Adhishtanam tatha karta.
Karanam cha prathak vidham.
Karanam cha prathak vidham.
Vividhascha prathak cheshta.
Vividhascha prathak cheshta.
Daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Daivam chaivatra panchamam.
Translation. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the 5 factors of action. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So, what are the 5 factors Krishna explains? Adhishtanam. Adhishtanam is the place. Now, I'm remembering when I did this verse last time, I was at Partha Prabhu Madhuri Mataji's place. we took an example, I just remembered, of a kitchen making sabji. You remember, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, I remember.
So, Adhishtan can be like a kitchen, a place where you have to say cook a sabji. Suppose the objective is cooking a sabji or some bhoga for Krishna. So, Adhishtan, we need a place, right? We need a kitchen, for example. Karta, we need a Prabhu or Mataji who's going to make that sabji. We need a kitchen. Karanam is instruments. You need some instruments. Like the hand is also an instrument, and your pen is also an instrument. You can't work without hand, you can't work without hand. So you need some instruments. For speaking, I need this, my vocal cords. That's why I'm speaking. So this is also an instrument. And that can be applied on a different level. Cha prathak vidam, vividascha prathak chesta. And you need some chesta. Suppose I give you bhindi, I give you pan, you're a healthy person. All the tel, masala, everything is provided, but you don't do any chesta. Sundar Gopal Prabhu sabji will come out. You're just standing in the kitchen. Maybe if you're a jinn or something. Here we are, mere aka. So we have to do some chesta to make that sabji. Some prayas has to be done. And then daiva. Daiva refers to sabji jal na jaye. Sabji should not get burnt. Suppose you have done all the things nice, but you just turned around and doodh boils exactly at the same time when you turn around. You're watching the milk, nothing happens. And you just turn around and the whole milk just gets boiled. It happens so many times. So Daivam refers to some kal. Now Prabhupada translates that Daiva here is ultimately the super soul. So what are the 5 factors? We have Adhisthan, we have Karta, we have Karanam. Karanam is instruments. We have some Chesta and Daiva. Daiva refers to Daivi. Some Devatas, you may do everything correct, but Devatas may not give you result. Another example which Prabhupada gave elsewhere, a farmer sows the seed, he does the plowing, he does the watering, but somehow the rains doesn't come. So the crops will not come up. Another example, Chaitanya Prabhu gives of a batsman. So he's saying the batsman has to be there. Batsman is the karta. Instruments is his bat and hand, that has to be there. And to hit a 6, he has to do chesta, isn't it? But he was trying to hit 6, and what happens? Clean bowled. That's called daiva. It may happen. Now you have done everything right. Adhisthanam is the place where he's acting. And Prabhupada also writes the body. So that can be understood as I'm speaking. So my body is the place of action. My vocal cords are the karanam, the instruments here. Now if your activity is outside the body, you can say the Adhisthanam will change accordingly. So Prabhupada writes place of action. In the brackets, Prabhupada writes body. So this body is also a Adhisthana. Karanam, there are different instruments in the body or outside the body. And karta, obviously, we as a karta has to be there, the doer has to be there, daiva has to support. Chaitanya Prabhu gives another example of some cricket celebrities. You said some cricket celebrities have this superstition. If they have their handkerchief in their pocket, 2/3 inside, 1/3 outside, then they will do a good job. Some have, Prabhu told in a class somewhere, before going to the field, they go to the bathroom and they make sure all the lids are closed. If any lid is open, that day is a bad day for them. And Prabhu was saying, what is to do with your cricket performance with the bathroom lids toilet lids getting closed? But they have this superstition. So he's saying, we say, a particular country has superstition, but actually this exists everywhere in the world. They will say good luck, or they will have a different word to say, but they all believe not only their performance is something else as well. If added, they will perform the best. So it's so daiva exists everywhere. They may have different wordings for it, but they also have this sort of superstition in their mind. If this happens, I will win the game. If this happens, I will not win the game. So different examples are given. So these 5 factors. Now, if you remember 247, which says karmane vadikar se ma felishkadasin. Sometimes people don't understand and they say, oh, if you're not the doer, then what's the point? But Krishna is not denying your existence or your chesta. What he's saying, there are another factors as well which can bring the work to success or failure. So Krishna is not rejecting you. What he's saying, you are a part in the chain. And how many parts are there? 5 parts are there. Suppose you are a very good karta, you have all the skills, but suppose that day, just before the exam, or Bhakti Shastri exam, you fall severely sick. What can you do? That's called daiva, isn't it? Just on that day, you've been topping all the exams, best marks, you're fully prepared, but daiva like that day. Adhisthanam, your instrument stopped working. It may happen. Laptop ka battery chala gaya, pen is not working. Adhisthan can be a problem. Sorry, Karanam can be a problem. Adhisthan, a place of action, can be a problem. Your body may create some troubles, or the place we are trying to act, that can be a trouble itself. So all these 5 factors will cause the siddhai of karma, the completion of the action, not just you. You are one karta. Very nice verse. So this humbles us a little bit. We are not the doer. There are other factors in the life, and that saves us from being proud or being in depression, because we will not become proud because I was not just a doer, and depression means I was one factor, I didn't do well, but there are other 5 factors as well, so that's okay. Keep going. 1815, again a continuation of the same thought. Anyone can do.
Can I do?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Shariravan manobhiryat
Sharirvan manobhiryat
karma prarabdhate naraha
karma prarabdhate naraha
nyayam va vipartitam va
nyayam va viparitam va
panchaite tasya hetavah.
panchaite tasya hetavaha.
Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, or speech is caused by these 5 factors.
Yeah, so beautiful. So Krishna is saying sharir means body, van means vani, vak is speech, mano or mana. So we can perform actions by 3 tasks. Now, obviously, in Kali Yuga, mana actions are not counted for the result. If that was the case, we'll be in big trouble. Because mind is constantly thinking so many negative things many times. Huh? So we can do karma by sharira, vaka, or mana. So whatever actions you perform by either karma prarabdha. Prarabdha means prarambha karna, to start, to begin. So everyone does these 3 types of karma. Karma prarabdha nara. Nara means human beings. Nyayam va vipritam va. So that karma which they start, they begin, can bring nyaya means justified result or a good result, or viparita means not so good result. They are caused by panchaite tasya hetavaha. Panchaite. So whether it's a good action or a bad action, all the 5 factors are constantly involved, whether you're doing at the level of body, at the level of vani, or at the level of mind. 5 factors are constantly there. That should give us solace, especially when the inauspicious results come in our life. Because we think, oh, I was so bad, I was so wrong, I did this. So obviously we should be responsible in our actions. But after doing responsible actions, if you get inauspicious results, what you should think? There are 5 reasons. I was only one. I did responsibly, I did my job well, but I failed for whatever else reasons. So that's fine. That's fine. Keshav Maharaj was saying in sort of one class recently, I heard, he was saying, usually we think the success in the consequence of the action. When the consequence comes good, we think we are very successful. But he said, as per Bhagavad Gita, success is not into the consequence. Success is in putting your best in that action, and then the action is already successful. I really like that definition. So if you put your best in that action, it's not the consequences make you success or failure. That action is successful. Now, consequence will based upon those 5 factors. Now, consequence as per the material world may be a failure, but that doesn't matter. You have done the work successfully. And it is so sort of motivating, because many times the results are not in our hand, although we may do a very good job with all the good intentions, but the result may still come bad. So that's so motivating. Maharaj said, result is not in the consequence. Sorry, success is not in the consequence. Success is in putting your best in the action itself. That's called success of the job. And if you are not putting best in your action, then even the result come as successful, it's not your success. It's given, say, by Deva. You put only little effort, but you still get the result. That's Daiva, because the result was supposed to come to you. So you should not become very proud of that. So beautiful definition. Yes, Prasanna.
But still, how do you measure it, bro? If you, even though you put best effort, without consequence, you can't measure your best effort.
But sometimes, and many times, your heart will say, if you're honest, your heart will say, did you put the good effort or no? Many times you put very good effort, and the result consequence may still be a bad one. But you say, Krishna, I tried my best. I tried my best. I didn't get the best so-called consequence. But many times your heart is telling you the right and wrong thing. We don't hear many times because we have become so gross living in the material world. We just see how many marks you got, 90%, 80%, something like that, right? But actually, whole year, have I worked hard enough for this exam or whatever action you want to perform? you'll say, actually, you know what? I was being lazy. I didn't put my best effort. What I feel personally, your heart is the best judge. No one else can understand that. Many times you will have good intention, but you will still be misunderstood by others. Huh? I say, Krishna, I had no intention to hurt someone, but it just happened because of some other factor. So um, I personally find that the heart is the best judge. Yudhishthira Maharaj in Mahabharata once, when Arjun got married to Draupadi, and the Kunti said, please divide whatever you've got in all the 5 brothers. And when Kunti came out, obviously she was confused. So everyone looked at Yudhishthira Maharaj and said, Yudhishthira, so what does Shastra says? And Yudhishthira says, I don't know about the Shastra, but my mind is saying this action is correct. Right? He said that. He said, I don't know about the Shastra, but my mind is saying this action is correct. And later on, Vyasadev came, Krishna came, and they said, what Yudhishthira is saying is correct. This action is not wrong. What Kunti has said is actually correct. Another example comes to my mind. When Dushyanta first time saw Shakuntala, Shakuntala was dressed up as a girl of a rishi. But when Dushyanta saw Shakuntala for the first time, he had a feeling that this lady should become my wife. And Dushyant said to Shakuntala on that spot, he said, my mind is saying you should become my wife, but you are a Rishi Kanya, you are a daughter of a sage, and I'm a Kshatriya. So actually, based on our Varna, it's very inauspicious. I should not have ever feeling about you because you're a Rishi Kanya. But because my mind is saying it cannot be wrong. Now, we usually say mind is always wrong. But in Shastra, we have example where mind was the barometer actually. So Dushyant says, please tell me who are you? Because my mind is saying you can become my wife. Then Shakuntala responded, I am not a Rishi Kanya. I am a Kshatriyani. And Dushyant was like, my mind cannot be wrong. Now, we should not apply in our life because in our life, 99% our mind usually drags us in a different direction. So, Dushyant and Yudhishthir, they are sort of examples. They're saying mind can be right. And many times I also sort of understand, yes, I did not put my effort enough, or I didn't put my enough effort from my side. I still did not get the proper result.
Okay,
bro.
Thank you.
Purification of mind is the answer. Okay, Manmohan Prabhu.
Bit of confusion, Prabhu, just regarding like whatever we achieve materially, it said it's already destined. So there is an effort needed to achieve the destiny.
Yes.
Is that effort is also predestined, or is it something that is free will? And if that person doesn't make that effort, he would not reach his destiny.
Yes.
That would change.
Yes, very good question, Prabhu. So yes, you have to put a little effort. Example given in Mahabharata by Radheshyam Prabhu. If a bird is destined to get some grains, and the grains is say 1 kilometer away, for example, just some distance away, the bird has to fly to that tree or to that place to get the grains. And this is bird's job, for example. So bird gets up in the morning, she goes, okay, I'll go north today or south today. And if she goes in that range to that sthan, she will get the grains. Now, if the bird decide not to go today, I'll test Krishna, for example, right? So she's not going to know the bird's destiny was to get the grains today. Suppose 5 grains was in destiny, but bird did not go. So Radheshyam Prabhu clearly explained this. If bird does not put enough effort on that day, the destiny will be postponed. So 5 grains will still be in the destiny of the bird, but later, it will come later. And it applies for positive karma. So if you are becoming too lazy and not even doing like a little effort, but at the same time, Prabhu said, bird should not go 20 kilometers looking for it. Now, I'm just putting a numbers here, but we understand. So we should not do over effort or under effort. We should do effort. Prabhupada said, for example, work 6 to 8 hours, and the rest of the time, you be satisfied. If after working 6 to 8 hours, you get enough money to survive, that's nice. If you not, Krishna want me to fast today, for example. So yes, your free will and destiny goes hand in hand. It cannot be separated. You put your free will again in an honest way as a dutiful person, and then if the result come, nice. If result doesn't come, okay, Krishna want me to do something else today. Now, it's very hard to say for each action how much effort is not a over or under effort, but Krishna will inspire you in your heart. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says, if you keep doing the things which are told to you as a dutiful person, then when the occasions arrive where you are confused about your duty, Krishna will inspire you in your heart what is your duty in that time. But it will only inspire you when you have been always doing the right thing as per Shastra. Suppose 90% of the time you are following the Shastra, 10%, I don't know what to do, whether I should go left or right. There's a Krishna will inspire you that time. But if you don't do any effort, for example, 90% time as well, so Krishna will not come and say, okay, you go left now, or you go right now. Krishna will not do that. But he said, so we should always follow our duty. And then when those moments come where we are confused, Krishna will give you guidance through inside your heart, through a devotee, through a Shastra. I find it actually that's very nice, very, very nice. Huh? You've done your duties most of the time, and some confusion moments, Krishna will help. Is it okay?
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I saw one more hand. It's gone down now. Madhuri Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu. Similar thing I was asking actually. So it is quite demotivating. It does not inspire people if we say that it is not just your effort. But same like what Prabhu has asked. But the Radhesham Prabhu's answer, like, if you don't endeavor, then whatever is written for you will be postponed.
Postponed. He said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the number of hours we need to limit, not over endeavor or under endeavor.
No,
So
sometimes we may have to work extra hours. We all have to do that, but it should not become a continuous, like every day you're working 16 hours a day.
yeah.
That's very opposing to your spiritual life, family life, health life, everything.
Yes. So as long as we are content, and for some people it is written in their karma to work hard, then they will work hard.
No, that's not the point. The point is not written to work hard. So the destiny means what fruits you're going to get. Suppose you want to earn, just in your mind, $1,000, but your destiny is only destiny for $100 today. So no matter how much work you do that day or that year, whatever, you will get $100. So
Only
even if you
$100.
achieve $1,000, 900 will go in car fine or this fine, that fine.
Okay.
So the over endeavor is not like in your duties. Over endeavor is the result, and that's why they say you be satisfied. If 1,000 is going to come, it's going to come.
Okay.
After you've done your 8 hours, 9 hours, or 6 hours of work, 100 or 1,000, it will come, or it will come and go. So you may have a feeling of, yes, I have achieved it by hard work. Hang on a second, some calamity will come in your life through a fine, through your family, through your son, mother, daughter, whatever. And that 900 will go back to the pool. So all your extra earnings, for example, will go away.
Yeah.
Is it okay?
You get what you get.
You get what you get. So be content with $100 or 1,000, whatever. $5, $500, it doesn't matter. But Krishna, this is what you are giving me. No problem. So the Amma was satisfied Brahman, it says. He will go to 5 houses, he will beg for alms as per the duty of Brahman. Whatever he gets, he was satisfied. And he was fasting for many days and he was not complaining. Krishna, you want me to fast? I'm fasting. He had done my Brahmanical duties. When he come home, he's chanting Hare Krishna. So he's not like lying around and thinking, oh my God, satisfied Brahman. And this says Brahmins were always satisfied that time. They will do their duty, but after that, whatever Krishna will do. And when they get 6 chapatis, they will, if they have to take 2 chapati, they will take 2 and then return 4, like do the dan of 4. They will not keep it. For 3 days, I didn't eat. Today I got 6. Let me store in my fridge. That's why they didn't have fridge. That's why they say dhoti doesn't have a pocket. Because pocket, sorry to say, you all have pockets. I also have pocket. Because pocket has this tendencies against Shastra actually. I was hearing when Prabhupada disciple, he was saying the saris and dhotis doesn't have pockets. And like men is supposed to wear chadar. Chadar or dhoti doesn't have a pocket. Why? It actually induces you not to store. You depend on Krishna. You take as much as you need, you get it, and then you give the dan of everything. In the evening, Krishna will give again. In Vrindam, there's so many sadhus who doesn't even have, anything with them. They take a meal in the morning, and in the evening, Radharani will send. Now, we can't copy them. I'm not saying that. I'm not recommending that in this class. But based on our maturity and devotion and surrender, we have to understand the principle and how we apply in our life. That may vary. Some savings has to be done by Grahastha. That's also recommended. But we're talking the principle here. Okay, it's 9:01. Let's stop here. Just give me 1 second. Sundar Gopal Prabhu, any announcements?